Who can save Ukraine? The situation there is not improving. More disorder brings with it the threat that Russia will say it has to send in peacekeepers. And where would such a move lead? Well, some think the British have a special role in this as a signatory to the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, which guaranteed the security of Ukraine in return for it giving up nuclear weapons. Defence Secretary Philip Hammond is reported to have told military chiefs Britain wouldn't intervene in the event of a Russian invasion. Well, let's perhaps hope it doesn't get to that. We can talk to the Ukrainian ambassador to NATO now, Ihor Dolhov. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's just start with whether you think sanctions are likely to work or are going to work. I can say that in the last few minutes, just the EU has in fact announced the 15 Russians, including the Deputy Prime Minister and Deputy Chairman of the State Duma, on whom it's imposing personal sanctions. Is this enough, do you think, as a Western response to what is happening, the threat to Ukraine?
We will see very soon whether it would be enough or not, but at least it's a new action and a new clear sign for Moscow that they need to stop direct involvement into Ukrainian affairs, and we expect that sanctions would provide additional pressure on the government of the Russian Federation, and that is the only way to double or to support diplomatic efforts of all Budapest Memorandum, as you remember, participants, plus European Union in the endeavor to assist Ukraine to overcome difficulties.
Can you tell me what your expectation is in the event that there was some Russian action inside Ukraine? What is your expectation of the help that you would receive at that point from other countries, and in particular the ones that signed this memorandum, the US, the UK, in 1994?
So the first thing to do is to convince Russia to withdraw all personnel who illegally continue to act on the territory of Ukraine, and to also to support actions to at least make steps, unprecedented steps to free those verificators from the OSCE mission which have been captured by unknown people in Ukraine.
Well, it goes without saying that diplomatic efforts are worth pursuing, and it goes without saying that people who've been captured against their will and held illegally should be released. What if things go further? If Russia sends peacekeepers, for example, calls them peacekeepers, and sends them into eastern Ukraine and says, look, it's too much disorder here, the government in Kiev can't control it, we need to impose some discipline, what are you looking for the rest of the world to do at that point?
Well, we do not see this option that we need no peacekeepers on the territory of Ukraine. We need stability, and the government is trying to do everything possible to meet requirements of the, first of all, population in the eastern part of Ukraine. And direct involvement, this is something that
it may happen. I mean, I know you don't want it to happen, and you don't want to get there, and everything to avoid it getting there is worth pursuing. I'm just wondering whether we have to start contemplating what we do in the event that it does happen.
So then it will be the case of direct military intervention, and Ukrainian defense forces will protect borders and the territory of Ukraine.
Do you expect the signatories to the Budapest Memorandum, do you expect them to, if you like, stick to the spirit of that memorandum, in fact the words of that memorandum, which is that they'll guarantee the security of Ukraine?
So, of course, we expect that guarantees which had been granted to Ukraine when Ukraine joined NPT as a non-nuclear state will be supported by real action of those signatory countries, because otherwise it's very difficult to discuss the future of the NPT, non-proliferation at all, and international law and legal system.
That would imply that you would expect Britain to send troops into Ukraine?
No, we do not expect nobody to send troops at this stage. But again, let me repeat that Ukrainian military defense forces are quite strong, and we have enough power to oppose aggression. But any other kind of assistance, that what would be needed in Ukraine, and that is why we continue to work with NATO and member states how to support Ukrainian capability to resist aggression.
Ihor Dolhov, Ukraine's ambassador to NATO.